Hello everyone and welcome to the first video from me, Wise Will Plays, playing a range of games at mainly GT Sports, using a G29 Logic wheel and pedals. I'll go through the settings as we go through the video. We're just seeing a warm up now of the Day Race C today, which is, I always forget the name of the circuit, new circuit, Grand Prix layout, Spanish, I know that much. GR3 cars using the Porsche 911 here, the 16 model. We go through the settings as we go through the race. So I'm going to start here shortly. As you can see, we haven't qualified for a reason. We're going to start from the back and see how fast forward we can get during the race. So it's about to start now. 18-19 cars on this. There you go, circuit Barcelona. There you go. 18-19 cars on this race. So as you can see, a few Porsches there at the front. We've got a Mustang in there. We've got a VW, an Audi, Beetle GR3 as well. So as you can see, what we're going to do is have the fuel set at 1. We're going to have no TCS, no brake balance. We're going to have that right in the middle as it is. And we're going to have the TCS set at 3, which is going to be the standard for most of my races that I do on here. So just starting up here, an interesting lap for this circuit, as we shall see. We've got 11 laps starting in 18th. Now, as we see start, that's a horrible corner to start on, but we can try and slide through there quite easily, get some speed up, which is very difficult out of corners in the Porsche. We've got something spinning out straight away in front of us that's pushed us off the back there. Nothing we can really do about that, unfortunately, but we'll get a nice 5-second penalty for that to start off, so let's slow down and get that cleared straight away. So now that's gone, we'll still stay in 18th and come down the main straight, slowing up here in the breakpoints for turn 1. Now, got quite a mixture of different flags there. We've got a lot of German, French, we've got a couple of Swedish I believe as well in there. So we've got 11 laps of this. Now, I expect during the first 5-6 laps we're going to, well, maybe during the first 4 we're going to start to think about changing the tyres actually. Fuel, we've got enough there to get around, yeah, a good 7 laps I'd say if we need to. However, we will be pitting before that probably. So just getting back to race, we've got already yellow flag up on that 4th-5th corner there. It's taken a 17th place, another yellow flag on this corner. We see there the Germans spinning out right in front of us, so we can take that place quite easily. Going a little bit wide down the corner, we've got somebody going extremely slow down this straight, so we're going to just tuck in behind him very softly and come out with a little bit of speed if we can. So we'll follow him up and then brake hard for this very, very tight inverted corner there. He goes wide, I'm going to go past him quite nicely without any contact at all. Going to come round this corner with a bit of tyre screech, bit hard on there, and slowing up very quickly for this, trying to keep as much speed as we can through these last few corners. We'll see later in the video I lose a lot of time through them. Hard to get that corner right, but hopefully we can do it on at least one of these laps. So now coming up for the end of the first lap, down the main straight again, and we are sitting in 15th after the first lap there, so we've got a bit of a gap between us and 14th. Gap closing in behind with the German there coming up behind. Still fine for fuel, got enough there not to worry about that for a while, at least until we pit. And now we're going to try and get around this corner as gracefully as we can without losing too much time there by slowing down. We can see 2 up in front, we've got 1 with a penalty there. Now this isn't a championship race, so therefore you can choose when you obviously get rid of those time penalties, as we saw what I did at the start. Now this corner as well, got to make sure we've got enough speed for it, but slowing up just enough to get that right. So that German's still very much behind us. Still a bit wide there, unavoidable unfortunately. I should expect we get a penalty for that. Yeah, small penalty which we'll have go down on its own throughout the race, I'm sure. So about halfway through this lap now and sitting in 15th place. Going to brake hard here for this inverted corner. you go, could have actually made that a bit more fluid. The German very close behind us, not giving in at all. Just going to try and, yeah, a bit wide there. We've got two up in front of us that seem to be batting out. That German very close behind me. Oh, a bit of tire switch there, a bit wide, and we have 14th place to go off. We're going to give him a little bit of room, and there's that time penalty gone. Nearly had a collision with the German behind me. Oh, and yeah, don't know whether that's due to his traction or just his turning into that corner. We got 15th place there, slowing right down as we speed past him on the straight. That German very much fine. We've got three going into the corner now. Who's going to come out of this one? Yeah, a bit of screech there, a bit of oversteer, trying to get around that corner. Still trying to exit from this, and now we've got to slow down enough to just gradually ease back on the accelerator through that corner. And and there, not sure what car that was, didn't see it in time, but there, that pass apparently caused him to swerve out the way and go off the track. However, pretty sure there was no contact there. So now again, about halfway through this, and that German very much still behind me. Got up to 12th place though in this 11 lap race on lap 3 halfway through. See if we can hold that position for a while at least. Try and create some space between me and the German behind us, who's been pretty much sat on my tail the entire race since lap 1. It's down the main straight here. Braking hard in there for the exit. Oh, and there's been a collision, bit of a shunt in the rear. However, we're going to keep the position just about. We're not going to get any penalty for that, obviously. However, I have seen a lot of penalties like that before, which is the Gran Turismo Sport Racing penalty system for you. So, hard on the brakes there. Trying to have a fluid racing line through here and exit with some speed. A bit better that time. And now trying not to let that car slide too much in that corner, which is absolutely fine. So lap 4 now, averaging about a 150 lap time. So far still sat in 12th, got quite a bit of a gap between us and 11th though, so I'm not sure how we're going to make that up. Because we started so low, we're doing pretty well at the moment for not even halfway through the race. So that German still is very much close behind me. We're going to try and get around this. As I say, the tyre wear now is starting to affect the handling quite a bit. Even though we're only 4 laps into this, it does notice straight away, especially with the wheel. The G29 is amazing for 4-speed back and realism in that sense. So it does give you a real overall feel of tyre wear. So hard on the brakes here, just trying to gradually ease out that corner, and we get a straight line. You do lose a lot of speed in the 911 try and come out of corners. Unless you have it dead straight, it doesn't seem to want to get off the ground and move. So it's all about finding that line and keeping that those revs up as well. Again, German very much on my tail, not going to give in there, I don't think. There we go, now towards down the straight towards the inverted corner. We're going to brake hard on the markers, and then we're going to just tap the brakes as we come into the corner and release them and try and get speed. That German very close still. I have a feeling it's very much going to be me vs him for the rest of the race, if I'm honest. So, braking hard in this. Yeah, could have done better there. Braking hard to try and wrestle that car through that tight chicane there. And now not lose too much of the grip as we come through that corner towards the back straight. So, lap 5. Again, quite a bit of distance between me and 11th, and not a lot of time, less than a second, easily less than a second between me and 13th, the infamous German who's been following me the whole race. Again, could have done a bit better on that corner. It's very hard to keep that grip unless we turn the TCS up a bit higher, but we then will lose a bit more time getting out of the corner. So getting through the corners here, slowing up for this one, and we've gone a tiny bit wide there. Not a very fluid line. We've got a yellow flag in front though. There's 11th place, who I suspect we're not going to pass just yet. We're going to sit behind a little bit and give him a tiny bit of space and try and power through on the exit of this corner. Oh, tiny bit of collision there, tiny bit. And of course we're going to get a yellow orange marker for that, which is just a spiffing. And gone a bit wide there, can hear some screech behind me, and 12th place has gone wide, who we've just overtaken. So now I'm left with the infamous German, I suspect straight behind me again, 700 for the second gap. I'm going to try and get some speed up through these corners and try and lose him a little bit. Again, very tight corners there. And no, we haven't gained any time at all from that. He is completely on my tail. So we've got about 3-4 laps of fuel left as we come to the 6th lap now. 10th place, starting from 18th, which is not bad. I've obviously had a couple of people drop out of the race so far by the looks of it. And now the tyres are really feeling the effect of the race, so we're going to think about pitting during the next, well, we're going to pit on this lap, I think. Again, trying to make sure you don't have too much oversteer as you come out that corner and spin the car. Just gently on the accelerator through here and power out as soon as we can see that marker. Hard on the brakes here again. Again, too wide on that corner. I suspect we're going to have that German behind us catching up quite quickly after that. Still that second difference between us two. As we approach second main straight towards that inverted corner, so we're going to try and power out a bit wide on that again. Tiny bit of steering wobble, and 11th place has dropped right back, hard on the brakes through there. There we go, out the corner nicely, and again he's gained some time there. So we see second place gone into the pits now, and third. See if anyone else, as we're going to go in regardless, I think, just because the grip on this tyre is pretty much diminished completely now. We'll try and make sure we're ahead of him for this pit though. Let's go gently into the pits. So we need some fuel, and we're going to need to get them tyres changed. We've got no damage to repair, which is excellent. So we've got approximately 4 laps left. Let's get them tyres changed, get some fuel, and hopefully go out before the German. There we go. Always do a little bit extra, don't know why. There we go, and we've come out just behind the German, so we're going to try and reclaim down to 13th from 10th. So we're going to try and reclaim them 3 spaces now. So we're going to be hot on the German's tail now. It's so much more grip in these corners, so we can actually put our foot down a little bit more in these. Again, still a bit of oversteer from the car on that turn. A bit hard on the brakes here, but we can afford to be a little bit late on the brakes and try and gain some time up with him. Just coming to this tight sweeping left-hander. Just gently on the accelerators to come out the corner. So we can see we've got 11th just up in front of us there as well. And I've gone a bit wide there, just kept it within the lines, just about. So here we're going to try and hopefully get some time back and get as close to 12th as possible. Gone a little bit wide, so we've got the hard braking zone coming up here. We want to slam on the brakes on the markers, and then as we get close, slightly tap it, and we've gone unavoidable, I'm afraid. Oh, okay, so we've got contact on that corner, and he's actually got a penalty. So it swings and roundabouts. And we did try and avoid that contact as much as possible. We'll give him a bit of space just to get forward. I strongly suspect he'll be that was a yellow flag up as well. I strongly suspect that he'll be slowing down for this penalty anyway. So we come down the home straight, start of lap 8. We are sitting in 11th place, which is one place worse off than when we went into the pits on lap 7 or 6. German has dropped 3 seconds behind now, as to be expected after his he's got down his penalty. So for now we're clear. However, I have a strong feeling we'll be seeing him again before long. So I'm going to try and put the power down now and get as far away from him as possible and try and catch up with 10th place. So get a bit later on the brakes, just past the markers there. However, I've gone a bit wide. I'll try and tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so there's a healthy gap at the moment between me and 12th. However, it's slowly diminishing. Of course, 12th place is using the Porsche 911 as well, so obviously equal power there. Not sure about his settings and what's not, but it does look like he has a bit more power in the corners, or a bit more traction, shall we say. So settings on the Porsche 911 I'm using are stock. Haven't changed anything about them at all. As you can see, obviously, as I said before, the TCS is going to be set at 3 as standard. There's no brake balance that I've changed. That's staying bang in the middle. And obviously we're going to have our fuel mix down to 1, which gives us the most power, as we don't need to be conservative at this point. 1 pit stop has done enough fuel for us. So coming out of the last corner along the back straight, end of lap 8, we are sitting in 11th place. So we've still got a fairly healthy gap between us and the German behind, sat in 12th, who has been behind me the whole race. At this stage I'm wondering to think whether we're going to actually get another place out of this race or not, but we shall see. Helicopter flying overhead is very important. Not distracting at all. So we're just going to try and hold that power on that corner while we turn in. As you see, we're actually losing a bit of time as the 12th place is slowly reducing that time between us, and we're not unfortunately gaining any closer to 10th place. So overall, not very good. Bit wide down that corner as well, just to add salt into the wound. Gonna try and put a bit more power down and get away, as we don't want to lose our lead over the German behind us. Nice follow through there. Okay, so we have seen 10th place just turn up ahead of us into the inverted corner, so at least we have some sort of visual contact. And that German again is getting extremely close behind me. 12th place is really starting to creep up as we try and wrestle through these corners again. Coming up to the last 2 turns with the chicane now. Try and get through that. I lost loads of time and power in that corner there. The engine really does with the Porsche, unless you have your foot sort of, you know, the revs higher and you're slowing down, but you're still trying to maintain it through the corners. But unless you do manage to do that properly, then unfortunately you do lose a lot of power with the Porsche. So quite late on the brakes there, so we're going to have to brake quite hard and try and turn in, keep this fluid through the corner as we're on the second to last lap. Again, just trying to wrestle that car around that corner without going too wide or too shallow. Late on the brakes here, but it's gone a bit too late. Bit of a screeching stop there, and try and put the power down out of this as smoothly as possible. So really struggling with these corners now. So once a few laps in these tyres do diminish the grip quite quickly, and you really do have to wrestle it, especially with the wheel. Just going to try and keep our time though, and keep the place that we hold. We have gained a little bit of time back there from 12th place. Second and a half by the looks of it. Don't know what's happened to the video there, we've kind of skipped a bit, however we are still in 11th. Gone in too shallow on that corner, so it means we have to be careful with our speed on the exit. Over the curb there and wrestle through the chicane, again a bit wide. So now as we come down the back straight, approaching the final lap, there is half a second gap between me and 12th, the infamous German. Very clean race though. Obviously at the start we had a bit of an incident, a couple of light knocks, and then another incident with the German on that corner. Don't think there's going to be any chance of us catching 10th place now. 7 seconds in front, so way ahead of us there. We will continue to try and fight as much to keep the place we've got though. Again, a really shoddy corner there. Oh, and we have a yellow flag and there's someone off in front of me, so that is 10th. And he has decided to carry on the gravel as well, which is nice for him. So, still keeping our leader over the German sat in 11th. Now we are up to 10th place on the last lap. 12-second lead to 9th, so there is no chance catching unless he has gone off on this chicane, which I very much doubt it. We're going to try and wrestle through these last few corners now to make sure we keep our place. Fuel lights come on for 1 lap remaining, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to brake just about right for this corner and try and exit cone in the middle of the road, which is not fun if you run over that at speed. Now get a bit jumpy, trying to get the car for the last few corners with the traction we've got, while still maintaining the time difference and have the lead over 11th. And breaking up, we had a yellow flag up in front. Could this be 9th place? Can't see any sign of him. So just the back end of the car getting away, and 9th across the line, so he's obviously gone off around here, and we finished there in 10th place. So we had 16 people in the end, out of 19 I believe at the start, so a few people left there. Again, a fairly good result from starting from solo down. A few incidents, everybody looks like more or less past 4th place had some kind of penalty there. So we finished 10th, so that's I would class that as a good race there. Not a lot of money from that. I'll get our daily workout done. So there we go. Oh, I don't know whether that's internet lag or something. As you can see, everybody on there, bar a couple of people, have kept their ranking as well of S. So for an S race, I would say that was fairly decent. Not any real major incidents. A few knocks. What we're going to do with that. Our German friend sat in 11th, we're going to send him a message just apologising for our knock, as a gentleman should do, and thank him for a good race, because it was good fun. We did have the pressure on during the whole thing. And he is replying to us there, so we averaged about a 150 lap there, fairly consistent through that. Fastest lap was a 147. We got thank you from the German sat in 11th there as well, which is excellent. Well, thank you very much for watching the first video in Wise Will 90 Plays. Be sure to click like and subscribe if you enjoy this, and tune in next time for another daily race. Should be averaging about 1 a week, maybe 2 at the moment, so see how we go. But make sure you comment, like and subscribe.